Hello. This is Kelsey checking in with Young Blood Tarot, and I am going to get a message from your spirit guides and ancestors today. So first, I would like to find out which guides are presiding over this reading today. Which guides are sending us their messages, their protection, their essence and power today. So we've got Hanya. I'm not familiar with Hanya. Beware, for beneath the mask of rage lies a sorrowful tale. Okay. So you're being asked to cull your rage, or I would say hopefully channel it into something creative, something productive, hopefully. And then we have the Harpies. Winged emissaries of retribution, we swoop down upon the wicked with talons of justice. So there is a lot of rage going on in these essences here. Okay. And then I want to get a few messages from our ancestors, our witch ancestors. What do the witches of the past want us to focus our magic on right now? What can we channel this rage into? So we've got Solitary Witch, heal yourself first. This did come out in my most recent love reading as well. So if you're at all interested in love, I would check out that reading. Sorry, I was trying to remember what it's called. It's called, yes, this was a soulmate connection. You can find it that way. Okay, so your ancestors, the witches of the past, they really want you to focus on healing at this point in time and really growing yourself into this beautiful, purified, empowered version of yourself. Candle magic, moon magic is going to be important. Cauldron magic. She's got a snake, so this is about transformation, shedding skin, as well as the butterflies. The color blue and the color gold, the color pink are important here. And then her tattoos seem to be like line drawings of natural elements. Interesting. So really just tapping into yourself right now, spending some time alone, and performing some healing magic. Okay. So we really need to get to the source of the rage and find out what's behind it so we can heal it. And so that we can know, I feel like, which rage is like justified and requires action, and which rage is more destructive that requires healing. Because, anger does serve a purpose. Anger can be destructive. We can get carried away with it, but anger is also the thing that, causes us to remove ourselves from harmful situations. So we definitely don't want to erase our anger, our justified anger. The spell is cast, let go, okay? So many of you have already been intentionally using magic to manifest. And if not, it's the power of your thoughts. Okay, so even directing your thoughts is so powerful. Visualizations. So your intentions have been set out, and at this point, it's time to focus on something else. So it's like, once the spell's completed, once this energy is transmuted, or once you send out your desires or your manifestations, you know, then you can focus on a different project, a different spell, or just like a different facet of life for a little bit. I mean, I don't advise you to ever like stop your spiritual journey, but there are times for rest as well. Feeling one more message from this deck, please. One more message from our ancestors. What do the witches that have come before us want you to focus your magic, want you to focus your intentions on at this point in time? Witching herbs, nourishment. Perfect. Yes, so you're being called to really nourish your body, to focus on what you're eating, maybe to learn a little bit about herbalism and natural remedies if you're dealing with an illness or an ailment right now. You know, of course, this is not medical advice. Always follow your doctor's advice. But, you know, this is something that you can supplement, that your ancestors are saying can be really valuable for you right now. And then you can also use these in your spells as well. Okay, incorporate herbs. So I have some bay leaves. Those are, you know, for abundance. I use rose and jasmine for love. Lemongrass, that's like an energy uplift. So there's different herbs you can use for different purposes. And your ancestors are asking you to learn a little bit more about that. All right, excuse me. And then what experiences, what archetypal experiences are going to be showing themselves in your life? What's going on here, you know, below the surface as you experience these events in your life, things that are happening in your relationships, your experience, your spiritual growth? What type of archetypal elements are coming through here? The castle, the orphan, and the one. So the castle to me is immediately drawing to mind your surroundings, your environment, and I'm seeing the beautification of your environment here with like the pearls, the rhinestone eyelashes, and the rose. I'm seeing that your environment is really important right now, and that you are using your surroundings as like another way to empower yourself. I've recently done this. I've just recently rearranged my room. If you've watched my videos before, this is a new table, so I have a lot more space for my readings, and it just feels great. Like, it really did make me want to sit down and do my readings, as opposed to my prior setup was a little bit more uncomfortable and not as much space for the cards. The orphan. So I feel for this is really about you finding out what was missing in your childhood experience. What were the things that your parents and your caregivers failed to teach you? You know, what are the ways in which they did not provide proper guidance. And this is not about blame, but rather just so that you can reparent yourself and do that for yourself and fill in those gaps, because no one's parents are perfect. I'm a parent, and I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I feel really bad about certain things because I know how much those little things affect children. So, you know, those experiences when you were young are really heavy, and like they can be venomous. They can pour this outside venom into your veins that's not meant to be there, where you're like this beautiful flower is just feeling just out of reach. But the good news is that this also represents transformation. It's an opportunity for healing. It's an opportunity for growth, to shed this old skin. And, you know, the adult version of you would be able to reach that flower. You can provide that guidance for yourself. The one. Let's read from the guidebook for the one. Card 30. Okay, keywords are non-duality, one love, unus mundus. Unus mundus? I don't know how to pronounce that. Excuse me. Okay. Our ability to experience this archetype firsthand is limited. It comes in brief and potent moments that we are left to savor for a lifetime. The one is both the energy that unites all living beings and our capacity to sense this intimate union. This archetype eludes us most of our lives, appearing as a concept in a distant galaxy. Yet when we are in the midst of its power, a solemn reverence falls across all the land. We glimpse ourselves in the vastness of all consciousness, and are neither small nor large within that field. We are neither important nor unimportant. All duality fades away, and we are left with what is, the precious knowing that life is a gift, and we are both the giver and the receiver of this fortune. Wow, so this seems to be like a very lucky and fated card. This is a rare moment in time where you feel completely connected to the universe, and where you are able to transmute messages through love and through knowing that, you know, we are all one. There's lightness and dark, and darkness and light. I'm sorry if this sounds really cliche, but knowing that, like, those negative things that we see in others, that there's a little piece of that within ourselves, and that the only way that we can, like, shine a light on that and cause it to heal is by coming from a place of love and understanding. All right, this also says, it is said that Om is the primordial sound of the universe, and that all other mantras are born from it. Simply imagining this possibility will activate the one. Om. Okay. You try it too. The unus mundus is a circle representing the beginning of existence. Is it possible that the beginning and the end of all things is love? Interesting. When light it serves, loves, accepts, resonates. When dark it ignores, omits, or excludes. Okay. If you want to go deeper, recommends James Turrell's The Color Inside and the poem Self-Portrait by David White. Okay. Wow. Very special moment in time, I feel, to transmute your rage into healing and into universal love and connection. I'm actually going to read this one as well, or at least a little bit of it. So this guidebook is split into different sections: the cells, the places, the tools, the initiations. So the castle is a place, obviously. Y de donde? ¿Dónde eres? Why can't I see? There it is. Okay. Okay. The palace, the penthouse, the fortress. It's no wonder fairy tales tell of sleeping princesses within castle walls. Like most archetypes, this castle is loaded with duality. Okay, so unity, duality. It represents abundant riches, seductive fantasy, ornate wonders, and lavish adornments, yet the walls are thick, cold, and shadowy. This card points to a tendency to hold on to possessions, quite possibly a literal home, or position that projects the image of achievement, while the soul longs to run barefoot in the forest, leaving it all behind. At times we must settle down, yet the castle lulls us with its spell of materialism, and we fall asleep to our deepest dreams. The castle can be a motivating force, an enchanting goal to travel toward, but it is best not to linger within its walls of decadent deception for too long. Okay. Um, so while you are adorning your home and building it up, don't stuff it with things you're not using. You know, make use of what you have, and um, make sure you're also getting out into nature right now. At least where I am, the weather is warming up. I mean, today it's cold, but it's warming up enough to get out into nature for sure. Thank you so much for these messages so far, our spirit guides and ancestors. Let's get some tarot messages. What do our spirit guides and ancestors want us to be aware of that's coming into for us? What do they want us to prepare for right now? What should we be preparing for? We know there's a lot of healing to be done, and that we are needing to nourish ourselves. We know that we are needing to turn our anger into healing and love. What else is coming in for us that we need to prepare for? Thank you so much for these messages. What do we need to prepare for? The Two of Swords. There's going to be a decision that needs to be made, and you're going to need to use your intuition for this decision. You're going to need to balance your logic and your emotions. Thank you so much. What else? What else should the collective prepare for? What else should my gorgeous witches prepare for? Six of Cups. You should prepare for some nostalgia. Perhaps somebody coming back from the past. This could be, a negative or positive experience. We'll learn a little bit more. But it's very shadowy and ethereal, which of course this is the ethereal shadow tarot deck. The Chariot, very fast movement, accomplishing of your goals, a tremendous amount of power. The Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment, feeling joy and peace in your life. Okay. What's this decision about? Let's get these guys up. What's this decision about with the Two of Swords? The Sun. It's a decision about your happiness, like what you really want in life, what's going to bring you that true joy. It's about clarity. It's about knowing the truth, accepting and understanding the truth. So really set your intention out. Once it's done, it's done. But make sure you know what you want. So like I recently created a love list. I've created love lists before. Every time I create a love list, something dramatic happens. Like there's like a breakup or something like that. So, you know, it's okay. I'm fine with it, but like you want to make sure that what's going on in your life is what's, you know, what you want is what's being reflected in your life, and it doesn't have to be about romantic love. It can be about whatever you want to see in your life. Okay. So decision about your happiness. All right, and then what's the Six of Cups about? Is this like a person that's coming back? Is this a project that's returning? Is this more about like the childhood wounds and healing? The Sun is also about childhood. Let's see, what else? What's going on with the Six of Cups? What else do you need to know about this? The Ten of Swords. So yeah, something that was ended and put to rest is being revisited. Ten of Swords usually represents like a painful ending. So if somebody is coming back into your life, just, you know, be really clear of their intentions. Do take it slow and make sure that they are living up to what you want, to the new like standard that you've set for your life. Okay. As far as the Chariot and like accomplishing something big, overcoming challenges. Tell us more about that. Like, what are we accomplishing, or what are we overcoming at this time? So, we're overcoming the Tower, and it's leading into the Nine of Pentacles. So, in the past, whenever you've had a Tower moment, it's really brought you down. It's really caused like a complete crash and breakdown in your life. But now you are learning how to transmute that pain into power. How to transmute the pain that you experience when something you thought that was like a building towards a solid foundation crashes down. How to transmute that energy, turn it into growth, independence, success, and wealth. Amazing. That's an amazing skill to have. You know how to bounce back now. That's so important. It's so important. So many people never change. So many people let things wreck them, either like their life externally or you know, their beliefs about love, or their beliefs about life and what they can accomplish. And you may have done that in the past. I know in the past I've really let painful experiences slow me down, but not anymore. And then there's some cards that are like face up that I want to take as well. So what's this, like joy and fulfillment that's coming in? Having balance in your life, like knowing what's most important, but still having room for this other pentacle. The joy of friendships, the joy of community, celebration, that's coming in for you. The Devil, the Hermit, Page of Cups. I didn't know I had all these cards. The Hangman, and the World. Wow, okay. Let's see here. So, I see here at the top that you're really balancing like enjoyment, happiness, celebration, with also taking the time to be introspective, to meditate, to like look at things from a higher viewpoint. You know, this is something I learned to do a long time ago and that I try to incorporate, but like to just, you know, take a bird's eye view of the situation and see like how would I be appearing to a third party. So like being able to do that and learn these spiritual lessons while at the same time retaining your ability to like be satisfied, to be emotionally content, and to be able to like celebrate and have fun. Very nice. And then I feel here that like what you're balancing is work, like hard work, and your creative force. I feel like you're channeling this like sacral chakra energy. It's like a sacral and base chakra connection, where like instead of maybe channeling it into like destructive things, or like not even destructive, but like maybe like sexual things, like if you're abstinent right now, instead of channeling that energy into like another person and sex with another person, you're channeling it into like creativity and just growing like stronger, and you're all of that like energy is building up and like causing you to be more magnetic and more successful. And I mentioned creativity, like a lot of it was this Page of Cups. Look how silly he is. He's like a skeleton plant creature. He reminds me of a creature from the movie Return to Oz. There was this moose head, and they like combined it with a couch and some like ferns for wings and turned it into like a flying couch thing. It reminds me of that. So that just like silly creativity, or just completely out there, like out of this world, like different, like unique creativity is coming through for you. And it's pulling in a big accomplishment for you. So you're definitely going to be accomplishing one of your goals, turning that into monetary success with the Chariot and the Nine of Pentacles here. You're really going to feel whole within yourself and whole within the universe and just completely connected. So I believe that's the message for today. I hope that resonated with you. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you next time.